Hey, good morning everyone. This is Jacqui from the YMCA of Greater Boston. We're going to be moving through a Vinyasa flow this morning. I am recommending that you grab some sort of bolster at home, maybe a large pillow, a couch cushion, whatever you have accessible, blocks if you want them. And we're going to get started in a seat. You can cross the legs any way you'd like. If it feels like you're a little bit uneven, maybe just scooping the flesh out from underneath, feeling those sits bones, and then sitting up nice and tall here. Think of rolling those shoulders back, chin is lifted, gaze forward. Feel free to close the eyes if you'd like, maybe just softly. And then as you're settling into your seat here, working with your breath on those inhales, think of lifting the shoulders, lengthening the spine. And exhale to sigh it out. And we'll take one more here, nice big breath in. And sighing it out. And then just letting the hands rest comfortably on the lap. Feel free to take as many of those big breaths in and out as you need to lengthen the spine. And then otherwise, just finding a little bit of stillness here. You might start with a gentle scan of the body, taking note of anywhere you woke up this morning with any tension, any agitation in the body. And then also scanning and checking in mentally, emotionally. If you have any busy, distracting thoughts right now, see if you can just push them off to the side to start, knowing that they'll be there at the end of class. And so for now, maybe imagining a blank space. And if you'd like to set an intention, either for your practice, for your Monday, or for the week ahead, we'll take 3 rounds of breath here. That intention is always something positive, maybe even joyful, or a goal that you're working towards. And on that 3rd round of breath, together we inhale all the way to the top. And sigh it out. And then gently opening the eyes back up here. We're going to take one hand out to the mat, walk it out, and then the opposite arm peels up and over. Taking a nice side stretch here, reaching as far over as you can without lifting your bottom from the mat, gazing upwards, inhaling through the nose. And as we exhale, gently swapping sides. Opposite hand comes down to the mat, walk it out, and then that other arm reaches up and over, taking your gaze upwards towards the ceiling. Full breath in, and exhale. Good morning to Pam, nice to have you on. Good morning, Sandy. Sandy says good morning to all of you. We're gonna sweep those arms up overhead, full breath in, and exhale, forward fold. Walking those arms out, again, as much as you can without lifting your bottom off of the mat. Letting your head be heavy, so think of your nose, your forehead reaching down. Even if you're still hovering off of the mat, that's fine. Full breath in, and sigh it out. One more here, maybe just shimmying the shoulders a little bit side to side. And exhale. Gently bring yourself back up to a tall seat. We're going to meet in our tabletop any way that you want to get there, hands and knees. And we'll start with some gentle body rolls here, just opening up the hips and the shoulders. And as always, just moving in a space that works for you this morning if you feel like going faster or slower. Anybody with shoulders, you can bend into those elbows, pushing up and away. And taking it over to the other side, evening out right and left and right. And we'll meet back at a tall spine here. Feel free to grab those blocks for your puppy pose, although you don't necessarily need them. We will keep the hips over the knees. If you're looking for a little bit more space today, the blocks are definitely going to help you. Hands will come over either block. You're going to walk those hands to the top. And then let the forehead soften down. If this is too much negative space for you, if the shoulders are uncomfortable or your upper back is uncomfortable, take the blocks out. Otherwise, go ahead and try to bring the forehead down. Again, it might hover this morning. That's okay. For 3 rounds of breath in through the nose and out from the mouth. One more inhale. And on that exhale, gently lift, walk yourself back, and find a child's pose. Your choice of knees together or apart. Walk the arms out nice and long here. And finding our breath in through the nose. And out from the mouth. 2 more rounds, inhaling. And exhaling. 1 more full breath in. And on that exhale, come back to your tabletop and finding cow-cat. Stack those shoulders back over the wrists, hips over knees. Inhaling to start. Big belly, lifting your gaze for your cow. And as you exhale, arching the spine and dropping the gaze for your cat. Full breath in and sighing it out. Take a few more rounds here. Again, at your own pace, noting how you feel this morning in the back, how you woke up, what you might be needing in your cow-cat. And we'll stay for 1 more round. And then bring it back to neutral. From here, coming into our first downward dog, tucking those toes, lifting the knees and the hips. And let's just pedal it out a little bit here. Bending into those knees, think of riding your bike. If the hamstrings are already feeling pretty good this morning, you can focus more on the ball of the foot and the toes, just rolling it out here, small circles, waking the feet up. Full breath in and sigh it out. We'll take that walk to the top, 10 baby steps, and meet in our forward fold ragdoll. Hands over either elbow, crown is heavy, and shift that weight side to side. And gently bringing it back to center. Hands come down to the mat for your extended ragdoll, taking your circus tense. Walk it out here, side to side. And then bringing it all back to center. Inhale for your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sunny, sweeping the arms up. Nice big breath in. And exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, down dog. Plant those hands, step both feet back. Pedaling out those legs, shake out the head. Side to side, back and forth. See if you can walk your toes just a little bit closer towards your hands, lifting those hips nice and high. On the next breath in, right leg lifts, finding your 3-legged dog, pushing up and away from the mat. Point those toes, find your breath. Inhale, and exhale, release and lower. On the opposite side, left leg lifting high, pointing those toes, pushing away from the mat. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release and lower. Take that walk to the top. Meeting once more in our forward fold ragdoll, this time opposite forearm in front. Your non-dominant side. And shifting that weight. Nice and heavy. Lengthening the backside of the legs if you can lift those hips anymore. And then releasing your hands and taking your tented walk side to side. Try to go a little bit further than the first time around. If anyone's trying to work on opening up the shoulders this morning, you can grab the back of the calf, look over either shoulder. If that feels good, maybe taking it on the other side. And bring it back to the middle. Inhaling for that flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sun A, sweep the arms up. Taking a bind here, you're going to interlace those fingers, steeple the pointers, zipping it up nice and tall, big breath in. And exhale over the right side, taking a peek up. Inhale back to center. And exhale over the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands behind the low back. Again, finding a bind, interlacing. Pull those hands away from the low back, forward fold. Big bend in the knees if those hammies are tight. Let your ribs come down to the thighs. Head is heavy. Knuckles keep lifting towards the ceiling. Try to squeeze your palms a little closer together. Maybe you keep the bend in the knees. Maybe straightening those legs out. Full breath in. Exhale, release. Gently come back to standing. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift to downward dog. Plant those hands, step both feet back. From our down dog, right leg lifts. This time stacking those hips, bending the knee like you're gonna kick your butt, and then lift the right hip high. Think of your belly button facing towards the wall. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release and lower. Left side lifting high. Again, we come right into stacking those hips, so bend the knee. Lifting left hip high. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release and lower. Take that walk one more time to the top here. This time right away, we're gonna find extended ragdoll. Walk it out, side to side. And then bringing both hands back to center, we're gonna take two fists in between the big toe knuckles, walk it in so that everything's touching here. Left hand has a good grip on that right ankle, right arm peels up. Look over that right shoulder, fingers are spread wide. If you still have the knees bent, see if you can straighten them out. Reach that right arm a little higher. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, swap sides. Right hand over left ankle, good grip. Left arm peels up. Again, maybe straightening those legs, lifting the left arm higher. Inhale. Exhale, release. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Sun A, sweep the arms up, big breath in. And exhale to release, forward fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Plant those hands, stepping or hopping through your flow. High to low push-up. Inhaling for your upward dog. Exhaling, down dog, and as always, you can skip that chaturanga and just meet in your down dog if you'd like. Right leg lifts high, low lunge. Step that foot to the top, left hand plants down, feel free to take a block. Right arm peels up. Looking over that shoulder, fingers spread wide, reaching for the ceiling here. Inhale. Exhale, release. Right hand plants down, left arm peels up. Take a peek over that shoulder, in through the nose. On that exhale, release, chaturanga. Stepping that foot back and moving through your flow. On the opposite side, left leg lifting high, low lunge. Stepping that foot to the top, feel free to grab a block. Left arm peels up. Looking over the shoulder, rounding out your breath. In through the nose. Exhale, release. Left hand plants down, right arm peels up. Again, looking over that shoulder, full breath in. Exhale, release. Frame the foot, step it back. Chaturanga. From our downward dog, pedaling out if you need to, that right leg lifts high. Pyramid. Step that foot to the top. Again, grab those blocks if you want on either side of the foot and folding down the right leg. Big breaths in and out. Option to keep the hands where they are. If you want to go a little deeper, we're going to rotate those wrists. Walk it to the back of the mat. For 2 more rounds here. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, half moon. Stepping into the right foot, lifting the left. Now I will demo with the block because I think it's helpful in the beginning. We are diagonal of that pinky toe. The height of the block is up to you. Left hand comes to the hip in the beginning. Over time, reaching for the ceiling. If you feel comfortable without that block, you're going to take tented fingertips instead. We're still diagonal of the pinky toe. And then option to stay here, or if you want to practice your sugar cane this morning, we're going to bend that left knee, grab hold of the foot. If you want to take your strap, go ahead, and pull the foot away from the body. Wherever you are, even if you're still in your half moon or if you're in your sugar cane, 2 more counts of breath. And then very gently release the hand and the foot. Pedal it out, shake it out. Inhaling for your flat back. Exhaling, chaturanga. And from our downward dog, left side lifting high. Pyramid. Step that foot to the top. Again, blocks are there if you'd like. And folding over the left side. Think nose to the knee or the shin, ribs to the thigh. Moving right away into your reversed wrists here if you want to walk those hands back. We'll stay for 2 more. On that second exhale, half moon on the left. Stepping in, lifting the right. Again, that block is there if you'd like. You're going to be diagonal of your pinky toe. Right hand either comes to the hip or reaching for the ceiling, fingers spread wide, keeping that hand active. And maybe you're staying here, or if you're moving into your sugar cane, we'll bend into that right knee, grab hold of the foot, pull that foot up and away from the body. Two more counts. And very gently release the hand and the foot back down. Heel toe, halfway lift, chaturanga. And we meet back in our downward dog. From here, right leg lifts high, warrior 1. Stepping that foot to the top, square off your hips, sweep the arms up nice and high. Holding on to your pumpkin for a moment, finding your breath. In through the nose. Exhale, warrior 2. Open the arms and the hips, looking over the right set of fingers. Inhale to reverse that warrior. Right palm lifts high. Back left either rests or we're taking that half bind. Exhaling for side angle. Couple options here. The right forearm comes down to the thigh, looking over that left shoulder. If you took the half bind, option for a full bind, we're going to wrap that right arm under the leg, grab hold of those fingers, lock it in, and draw back. As you're drawing back, keep the bend in the right knee, look over the left shoulder. One more round of breath here. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, chaturanga. Cartwheel those hands to frame the foot, stepping it back and moving through that flow. Pedal out those feet. Left leg lifts high. Warrior 1. Step it to the top, squaring off those hips. Sweeping up here, hold that pumpkin. Find your breath. In through the nose. On that exhale, warrior 2, arms and hips open, looking over the left set of fingers. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Left palm reaches high, back right rest, or we're in that half bind. Exhale, side angle. Again, your choice if you want to keep the left forearm down. If you did not take that half bind, right arm reaches to the front of the room. Nice side stretch here. If you're going into that bind, we're wrapping the arm under the leg, grabbing hold of the fingers. As you draw back, look over that right shoulder. Keep your bend in the knee. In through the nose, out from the mouth. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, chaturanga. Pedaling out, meet back in your downward dog. Right leg lifts high, warrior one. So we were just here, come right back into it, sweeping the arms up overhead. We're gonna move into our airplane. So two options. If you wanna start modified, the hands will come to heart center. It's a little easier to balance. You're gonna step into that right leg, lift the left, kick that left foot back. Chest is parallel to the floor as best as we can. Now the hands might stay. They might extend out long. If you want to start over with the hands extended into your airplane, go ahead and reach behind you. Again, you're going to step into that right foot, lift the left, kick it out. Try to keep the gaze forward. Maybe you bind behind the back. Staying for two more. On that exhale, release warrior one, chaturanga. Meeting back in our downward dog. Left side lifting high, warrior one. Start by squaring off those hips, sweeping the arms up high. And then again, your choice if you want to go right into extending those arms out or starting at heart center. You might even just stay at heart center this morning if that's a nice way to work yourself into this asana, this pose. If you like that variation, a little bit of a challenge, interlacing behind the back. Staying for two more. On that exhale, release warrior one to chaturanga. And pedal it out. Walk those toes a little closer towards your hands. 3 counts of breath here, or your child's pose, your choice. Then from that downward dog, right leg lifts high, lizard lunge. Step that foot to the top right corner. Hands are on the inside of the foot. Feel free to take the blocks if you want. Keeping that left knee up to start. I know sometimes I say drop it to modify. Right now we're going to keep it up. We want to lengthen that left leg. Chin is lifted. Drishti forward. Keeping your left hand on the mat, right hand comes to the right knee, rolling onto the blade. Try to open up into that groin and hip flexor space here. This will make sense in a second with where we're going. Just trying to open up these hips. For 2 more breaths. On that next exhale, roll the foot back down. Bring the right hand back. You're going to step it and move through the chaturanga. On the opposite side, left leg lifts high, lizard lunge. Top left corner, hands are on the inside of that foot, trying to lengthen the right leg here. So keeping the knee up, just a few counts of breath here. And then left hand will come to the left knee, gently rolling onto the blade. And then roll it back. Left hand comes back. Chaturanga. From our down dog, take a walk to the back of the mat. Gently, slowly roll yourself up. Nice big breath in, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. I'm gonna turn to face you all. Moving through our first standing balance here, we'll start a little easier with our tree pose on the right. Big toe presses down unless you feel like lifting a little higher this morning. Arms can reach up, maybe bind overhead. If you feel like lifting, we're on the flesh, keeping that knee outward, still trying to open up those hips. And gently release it down. Taking it over to the other side, tree pose on your left. Again, your choice of where that foot is going. Be mindful that you're not on your knee. And gently release and lower. From here, we're gonna lift up the right leg in front. Couple options. So we're gonna bind the hands, pull that knee up. So everything I'm about to cue, these are all options. You can stay here the whole time. This is good balance right where you are. Otherwise, we're gonna take that hand to the hip. Opposite hand opens the leg, or opens your hip rather. Again, you can stay here, or we come for a bind. Pointer and middle finger grab hold of that big toe. We reach for that extension. So here's where all that hip work came in. And the opposite arm peels up towards the ceiling as well. Now, if you're not here, if this is a little wobbly, you can keep that bend in the knee and gently release and lower. Try to control as you lower the leg down. On the opposite side, again, we'll bind. Pull that knee up. You can stay here, guys, or we start to open. And you can stay opening or find your bind, big toe, extending. Maybe that hand stays on the hip if that's helping with balance this morning. Otherwise, extending towards the ceiling. And gently release and lower. We're gonna go through that one more time. I'm gonna show it on the opposite side and add in an arm balance. So back to your first leg, lifting, moving right into your leg extension. Now, if you're working that bind today, your arm balance, you're gonna bend that knee, hook the foot on top of the right thigh here. Hands come to heart center. And again, you can stay, guys. This is good. This is good, lowering the hands down. We want to get into the arm balance, though. So you're going to bend that knee, hook those toes, right, over your right arm. Bend, bend, bend. Building the shelf similar to our crow. And lifting. So you might be here. Over time, extending that leg. And walking it back. So if that's really funky, we're going to do it on the other side. Lifting that knee up in front. Catch your breath. Finding that extension, big toe, right? If you want to go right into the arm balance, if this is wonky for you to start from your leg extension, that's fine. You're hooking the ankle over the thigh. Sitting back. Again, you can stay here, guys. Drop it down to those hands. Or we start to build the shelf. So now you'll see my shin is on the back of the tricep, just like in crow. You're hooking the toes over the foot and lifting. You will fall out of this a whole lot of times, so that's okay if you are. Bring it back up to the top, sweep the arms up, reset. Hands to heart center. So if you're falling out of that arm balance, it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience there, but something nice to do out of that leg extension. Last one here, our standing balances of mountain pose. Make sure big toes are forward. Arms out by your side, fingers spread. We're gonna close the eyes. Catch your breath. With the eyes closed, you know where you are. Lift your toes off the mat. And press your heels and balls of the feet down. Keep the fingers spread. Chest pushing forward. Full breath in. And sigh it out. 2 more here with the eyes closed. Last round, full breath in. Exhale, open the eyes, release your toes down to the floor. Sweep the arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, Malasana Yogi Squat. Feel free to take those blocks if you want. From your Yogi Squat, if you want to wedge a block under your seat. From your Yogi Squat, right hand comes down to the mat, walk it out. Make sure that your elbow and the back of the arm here are against that knee so you can control opening up the backside. Left arm peels up and open. If you're very tight, you might hear some cracking here. Otherwise, go ahead and walk that hand out on the floor. Lengthen. Look up over that left arm. Full breath in. Exhale. Option to stay, or we find a half bind behind the low back. You're gonna do it too, Sandy. And then maybe that other arm wraps around the shin, and we're trying to get those hands to touch. Just like when we came into our Warrior 2 with that side angle bind. So I'll demo this in the back in a moment here. Once you have the hands bound, look over the shoulder. We're still drawing down towards that hip. Okay, we did this earlier. And bring it back to heart center. Release, we'll take it on the opposite side. Left hand comes down, you walk those hands out. Make sure that you can push open the knee, the hip here, right? Right arm peels up. Again, you might crack right away if it's tight. Otherwise, lengthen by walking the arm out. Look over that right shoulder, full breath in. On that exhale, half binding behind the low back. So you might stay in a half bind this morning. If wrapping that right arm around the shin here is a little too tight. So a half bind is still good. You're inching bit by bit those hands, the finger rather, your hand and fingers, into that corner pocket. Over time, the full bind wraps around. So those hands grab each other. If you've got a strap at home, take your strap if that's helpful. Tighten up that bind and pull down. Notice as I pull down, the shoulder opens up and we're able to get a little more space there. Find your breath in through the nose. And exhale, release, bring it back to heart center. From our yogi squat, let's do a little bit more work here. Start to lift those heels and then release. Lift the heels and release. So move through this a few times at your own pace. Eventually, you want to lift those heels, stay lifted. Arms reach up, and here's your goddess squat. You might take a mudra, connecting your thumb to one of the 4 fingers, reaching the arms up nice and high, lengthening the torso. Inhale, exhale, release. Lower it down. Coming right out into our straddle. So go ahead and get your bolster, your couch cushion, your pillow at home. In our straddle here, right, opening the legs as much as we can on our own, toes pointing to the head. You're gonna grab that bolster. We will demo all of the options. If you are super tight, you're probably gonna look very hunched over. Bring your forearms down to that bolster and let your head and neck be heavy. Oftentimes we're looking up. That causes a lot of strain on the neck and the shoulders. So try to soften here. Keyword try. Now, if you're a little bit further out and the bolster is not so close to your body or your groin, you're gonna push the bolster out, lengthen so that we're on the forearms, but they're extended. You don't have to keep that bend. Maybe a cheek, maybe the forehead, whatever is most comfortable. If you do not want or need the bolster, we're gonna take it out, but it's there as a good tool. Walk those arms out. And again, you might start on the forearms, bent elbows. They might feel comfortable to walk all the way out. And as you're finding your breath on the inhale, see if you can just lengthen a smidge more to the top. And then walk it gently back up to the top. You're going to hug one foot into the groin. Doesn't matter which one, we'll do both. The leg that's long, reaching for the blade of the foot. Circle sweep that arm up and over. And then pulling the body here down towards that leg. And gently bring it back to the top. Swapping sides, whichever leg you haven't done. Grabbing for that blade, reach up and over. And then gently bring it all the way back up to the top here. Finding your butterfly pose, seated Baddha Konasana here. Soles of the feet touch. Pull the heels in towards the groin. Sitting up nice and tall, think of pushing the chest through the arms. Flutter if you'd like. Otherwise, we're going to fold right down. So keeping a good grip here, either on the ankles or the feet. We're pulling chest down towards those feet. Forehead and nose towards the mat. As you're pulling your chest down, try to push the hips down. So if the knees are sort of flailing up, work your muscles, push those knees down. Let's stay for 2, maybe 3 more breaths. And then very gently release, come back up. And we are going to take those blocks to close out here for an assisted fish. So first block is always taller. Second block is shorter between the shoulder blades. If this is too tall this morning, you'll take both blocks to their lowest height. Okay, so this is a personal preference, whatever works for you this morning. As we're reclining here, that first block, like I said, in between your shoulder blades. You're going to have to play around with this at home. And then that second block behind the back of the head for support. Now, knees can be together if you want, but we'll walk the feet out. Knees will touch. Hands will rest gently by your side. Otherwise, the legs can go long, arms by your side. Whatever is feeling a little better for you this morning. It shouldn't feel like you're falling off anywhere, so find a comfortable space. Let the eyes soften. And then come back to your mindful breathing. So if you're still a little bit rapid right now, as we're softening down from practice, see if you can slow the breath. If it helps to take hand over heart and belly, go ahead and do that. And calling to mind that intention that you set at the start of practice. Shavasana. Now with these blocks, it might feel nice to stay here for a little while, so feel free to do that if it's calling to you this morning. Otherwise, just gently roll over onto either side. The blocks will stay where they are. And press yourself up and forward into a seat. Hands come to heart center. And together we inhale. And exhale. Hands reach to the center of the forehead. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you live your life with ease. Thank you all so much for practicing with me this morning. Take care.